stay home more, not keep doing the same thing I'm doing. So
Well, I mean, if you got a job for a big company, you'd be able to stay home more. So okay, I want to get into it. So we're live on YouTube today, um, and just want to make sure. Hold on. That we're live. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Wednesday morning mastermind call. We do this Monday through Friday, and then today on Wednesdays we do it live on YouTube. I'm super excited because yesterday I watched the presidential debate, and this is the first time ever that they were debating, and every single issue that came up, I looked it up to just see like how does it affect me and my industry. I'm in the resale industry, so I sell essentially items that have been sold before. So retails, things being sold the first time. I'm a reseller. Everyone who listens to my channel is a reseller. How does this presidential debate affect me? Devin brought up something earlier. There's a person in the group. He works for a company, and I told him maybe at one point, if you get a big business client, you could just start your own business. And he was saying the point of him reselling is to spend more time at home. I think millions of people choose reselling because of the time flexibility. 100%, right? There's people with full-time jobs reselling. In fact, most of the people who actually do well at reselling have a full-time job. That's the most common denominator. You have a full-time job, you bust out 10 listings before or after work, make an extra $100 to $200 a day. That's another $30 to $70,000 on top of your regular paycheck. That person's killing it, right? The people who don't have structure, it's much more difficult because it doesn't matter when you start or where you end. Lots of people take 14 hours to list 5 items, and then they're kind of half doing it, so their listings don't sell. They have all these random items that they're selling instead of specific items. Usually, people who have a full time job, they sell specific things because they don't have that much time. So they're just like, I'm only good at selling this thing. I'm going to stick to this, rinse and repeat. But if the world is your oyster and you can sell whatever you want, it translates into being highly unproductive all day. Um, so let me go over the things that they mentioned that really affected resellers big time. First off, if you want more time to yourself, get a job. Don't be a reseller. If all you're trying to do is spend more time with your family, I do not recommend reselling. It takes a long time, especially to get off the ground. Like unless you're working on it when your family is asleep, it's not less work than getting a job. Like straight up, I'll tell you right now, this is harder than a job because you are the job and also you are the company. Okay, like so you have to run your company, manage your time, manage your own time, acquire your own goods, sell it, fulfill it, customer service. That's all you. There's like literally 90 tasks that you do all day. I mean, you can narrow it down into customer service, shipping, photographs, listing, putting everything away, but all those have little nuances like customer service is like cases, returns, answering offers, all that together, right? It's pretty difficult. When you have a normal job, you just do one of those things. So if you're looking for more time with your family, get a job. Well, the only restriction is that sometimes the high paying jobs, they take 10 hours a day or more. That's the only restriction. But if you're looking to just get by, you can make $50,000 a year be decent at your job and have a little bit of free time. I don't think that being an entrepreneur gives you more time though. I don't agree with that. Okay, so looking at the election things that came in, everybody was talking about, or Trump had mentioned this 20% tariffs tax. Essentially, imported goods get taxed 20%. And I was trying to fact check this myself to see if this is true. And a bunch of studies said that it would increase the average person, their bills by $1,700 to $4,000 a year, which is a lot. You're talking about a normal family, $100 to $300 more a month in bills. That's like crippling. There's so many people that already don't get by, or they're negative $100 a month or negative $500 a month. Now they're going to go even more negative because the tax is coming in. No one in the debate mentioned what that money would go to. So I don't know where that money would go, but not going to us. It would just cost more to buy things. So I think that's fantastic for resellers because resellers we can buy used things like For example, I just purchased 20,000 pairs of shoes to resell. My staff probably purchased two or 300 pairs. They're not buying new shoes. They can't afford new shoes. Oh, I mean, they probably can, but it's hard to spend $150 on a pair of shoes when you can get a pre-owned one for 20 or 30. That's like, think about how different that is. One of my staff members bought shoes for her whole family for $80. Dude, that's not even the price of one pair of nice shoes. She got brand like new returns for her whole family for $80. That's so cheap. The industry of reselling is going to go way up because if you don't want to listen to the rest of the video, neither candidate said anything about helping us improve how much money we make. I would say the number one hot topic right now is standard of living is too expensive. Does anybody feel that? If you reviewed your bills, your groceries have got to gone up. Cars are way more expensive. Gas is at the same or higher. Even in Texas, it didn't go down. Nothing went down. Nothing got cheaper, and neither candidate had any plan for improving jobs or anything. Like at least in previous elections, like it seemed like they were catering towards blue collar workers and trying to help people get jobs. But this time, neither one of them mentioned that. There was no talks about improving jobs or infrastructure that might create something. It was just they didn't even talk about tax breaks, nothing. The election was just a whole bunch of nothing. Like when you listen to politicians talk about what they're going to do versus like a business person, it's just so different. Or even an expert in anything. Like I almost would rather listen to Steph Curry talk about basketball than that. It didn't make any sense to me. So okay, the tariffs, that would make things more expensive. Kamala Harris said something like $6,000 tax credit for people who have first year of life for kids, right? That would affect me. Actually, it doesn't affect me now because my kid's over one, but um, where does that money come from? If they just gave out all that money, we would have the same inflation problem we have now. Like I don't think printing free money would solve anything. I think somehow we need to improve jobs. Like if they said, we're going to open an eBay center in every single city where people can go photograph their items, that's nothing. That would cost like a couple $1 million for people to go somewhere and work, and that would stimulate the economy like crazy. Imagine you could go somewhere and photograph. Most people's problems is their home workspace is so messy that they can't work, right? And they don't have organizational help. They don't have anywhere to work really. They're working in a one-bedroom apartment that they rent for $2,000 a month. That's hard to get going. So the election, that I mean, I'm really like happy I did that because I historically don't care about politics, but I just wanted to see, does this matter to me? Right? All these topics, what's going on? How does it stimulate the economy? What is in it for me? How does it affect normal people? My customers, I sell everyday value. 99% of the stuff that I sell is under $30, right? I'm not selling to rich people. So, like, can my customers afford to buy things? That is concerning to me, right? Can my workers afford to pay their bills? That's kind of important to me. But nothing in the debate had anything to do with that. So the abortion topic's not related. The foreign policy topic's not really related. So when I watch it, I just feel like it doesn't affect us other than I feel like the standard of living is going to remain the same or go down. Who thinks that the standard of living is going to get easier? I don't. But anything from that. Oh, actually, the I guess there's one thing that was pretty interesting was Taylor Swift chimed in. Okay, of all people, her opinion is so important that it's on CNN. I was like, okay. I was selling Taylor Swift merchandise this year because it came up, and I was like, why? Why do we care about what Taylor Swift said? She's on CNN. Literally, they're like, this is big news. Taylor Swift posted on her Instagram. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? But then she's really influential. Okay, so now we have, if you're a reseller, get your Taylor Swift stuff listed because it's bonkers. And they sold millions and millions and millions of products. They're everywhere. You can thrift Taylor Swift merch. It's out there. So I don't think that So join the chat saying the money would go into the national debt. It wouldn't increase prices. It'd bring more production to the US. Okay, that's also good for us. If we actually move the production to the US because the tolls are too high, so let's say that I want to resell. This week, I'm coming out with a video on how to source products from Alibaba, right? If it becomes cheaper to source that product here in the US, that would be fantastic. I would love that. There are so many products that I feel would do really well, especially in LA. Like in LA, there's like a lot of production, at least for clothing, the clothing industry. You could go there and have things made. I have, I'll show you guys. I have a few different wholesalers that were telling me that they have access to different fabrics. And here, I'll show you. Joy, or I mean, yeah, Joy, this might be right. So check this out, guys. Make sure I have this pulled up right. I'll show you. Okay, so where's my thing at? Okay, can you guys see this? This is all this fabric that this lady was showing me that can be made into, because right now what's trending in women's clothing is like dresses, patterns and prints are trending really hard in women's clothing. So she was like telling me that all this stuff can be made in the US for the same prices overseas, and the lead time is only 6 weeks. That's not bad. So that means like essentially we could start sourcing goods in the US, which is exciting. So I hope that becomes a thing and the production comes back here. That's cool. Melanie says that Taylor Swift is a rich celebrity. Her issues do not apply to you. Um, I'm just so surprised that her opinion was on CNN. She weighed in, so all of a sudden it's nationally news. Um, That's true. So Mary says that back in the day, the Beatles are interviewed about news. It makes sense. It's just it doesn't really affect us as resellers, other than I don't feel like the prices are coming down for anything. Um, so Misty says there's only one solution to everything costing more, make more money. I agree. I think right now, everyone the fastest way to improve your reselling business is to clear space. I know that sounds crazy, but it's just less buying things and more selling things that are around you. And I've been hardcore using Facebook Marketplace. Guys, I think this is maybe the biggest hack is how affordable Facebook Marketplace is. You can post something, they don't charge any fees, right? And you can run ads. So you guys saw this. I bought those Batman cars and I posted on Facebook Marketplace. I've only sold a few. I paid $70. The retail is $250. They can't be shipped. So I put them on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't sold very many, but yesterday I ran a Facebook Marketplace ad and I'm running it from now to the end of October at $7 a day. And I have been selling a couple every day from this ad. And I'm like, that is so affordable. $7 to place an ad to reach, I think it's reached 20,000 people in my area. So if you're selling furniture or anything heavy, I probably would take advantage of Facebook Marketplace. But I didn't hear that in the debate yesterday. Like, why doesn't everybody sell 50 things at home? Can you imagine? That would actually stimulate the economy. If everybody in America sold 50 things, it would just because those things are going to the market at a much lower rate than the retail. It just was interesting. Oh yeah. So Explosion Sky said she proposed a tax credit for new small businesses. Here's the thing. I think it's a $50,000 tax credit for small business, but that's on the profit side. What if it doesn't help you earn any money? I could be wrong. I could be misinformed, but I researched that. She put that she was going to give $50,000 tax credit to small business. But that's the profit part, not getting started. So most small businesses, especially in my experience, do not turn a profit. If I was looking at most people's resale business, they spend probably $5,000 or $10,000 on inventory, $1,000 or $2,000 on equipment, and they list 1 to 7 items a day, and they sell 0 to 3 items a day. And at the end of a year or 2 years, they're actually negative. So the tax credit wouldn't apply to most businesses. If you were able to get more profitable, that would be nice. And I think that would stimulate the economy if people who are listening to my channel right now that are 0 to 10 listings a day, and you heard the election, you're like, oh my goodness, I want that $50,000, and you bump it to 10 to 20, and you actually sell 10 to 20, then this tax credit would apply to you. If you actually get some traction going. Vans is saying it's $7 for 18 eggs in Dallas. I feel like here I've seen milk for $7.99. So Kim is saying no one explains how to help the regular person. I actually don't think that the presidential election helps regular people. I'm saying the debate. The debate didn't mention anything that was going to specifically help us. So she said, why don't they propose a tax credit for small businesses right now? They are. It's just that it's only the profit part. So I think the seed capital part, how many people here think that capital is holding them back? It's, in my opinion, it's not really capital to a certain degree. It's mainly understanding what to sell. Because if we were to give people, let's say, $500, they wouldn't necessarily know where to spend it. If you do know, right, and you know, like, oh, I could turn 500 into 2,000, then it's a different story because you can sell everything you own. I always say sell your couch and sit on the floor. Just like, let's just get it the ball rolling. It's just that most people don't know where to put that first $100 or $50. I think that's the hard part. There's a lot of business skill required to get this off the ground. Just a number is saying they can't even get one sale a day. Okay, this is key. I would say getting to one sale a day consistently would require 50 to 100 really quality items in your store. And that's the part I was talking about. Because if you have really quality items in your store, your listings don't need to be perfect. You can ship a little bit later. There's a little bit more forgiveness in having a great item that people are willing to wait for. Versus, or if you're selling something that people really need, then you need to ship it right away because they're buying it from you at a discount and they want it fast, right? So if it's a like a Spider-Man figure from 1990, a vintage one, they can wait a couple days for that. But if it's like you found a power drill and it's a DeWalt power drill and it's $119 at Home Depot, and you find a nice used condition one at a garage sale that you paid 30 for and you sell for 75 on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, they want it immediately. So that's one key, but I'm saying, like, who is saying I can't sell my DeWalt power drill? That's not hard to sell, right? That's the problem. Main problem with reselling is um the main problem with reselling is what to buy. Melanie, I don't think that the tax credit necessarily was what people wanted to hear. The word small business is what people wanted to hear, but like, it's not free money and it's not money to get started. They could provide goods for people to resell. Something like that would help people actually get on the right roll. And just the number saying it's a tax credit, not a gift. And again, it really benefits more people who already have an established business who can make a little bit of profit. So Cheeseburger is saying most small businesses fail, so the $50,000 is just money thrown away. The thing is, it really only applies to the small businesses that are working. So it would help the small businesses that are working. But again, the free money is a thing that I don't know if I think that caused everything to be a lot more expensive. So somebody quoted this from her website. To help achieve this, she will expand a startup expense tax credit to new businesses from 5,000 to 50,000 and take on the everyday obstacles that red tape can make it harder to grow a small business. Okay, that's from the website. That's what she's saying. I think that really helps more when you need that $5,000 to $50,000 credit, and it just takes some time. You would need to be at like 5 to 10 solid sold items a day for that to apply to you. Under 5 sold a day, your business is basically breaking even or losing a little bit of money on paper. So I don't see that affecting it that much. Um, but I can see the 20% tariff thing helping resellers because things would get more expensive. So people would be looking for more pre-owned, right? And then plus it would stimulate local production, which I think is good for us, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys disagree with any of this stuff, but that I just think that that's a thing. And then also the tax credit. I don't know if that's gonna affect us much. Um, so as far as buying goes, I think that retail is going to continue to struggle. If you've seen sort of the trend in reselling, there's a lot more secondary goods hitting eBay, Poshmark. So guys, let me tell you something very interesting. I've kind of switched businesses. I was selling pre-owned stuff exclusively from the flea market. If you guys watch my YouTube channel from 2007 to 2022, right? The first 2017, the first 5 years of my YouTube channel, I primarily sold from flea markets. I did thrift stores right in the beginning, but then when I found the flea market, 3 years in a row, that's all I did. Um, then I switched over in 2022 to new goods because I got exposed to the closeout world. And all those years I resold on eBay, I actually wondered, where is the stuff coming from BHFO, like the biggest clothing seller in the world? They're selling 15, 20,000 items a day. Where are those items coming from? I didn't realize those are the same goods being sold at Ross, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. And if you guys look at the discount industry, TJ Maxx is opening stores right now. Think about where we're at in our economy right now, and TJ Maxx is opening 1,000 stores. That means discount retail is on fire. So if you are a reseller right now and you're going to the flea market, right, and the thrift store, and you're buying a Tommy Bahama shirt for $11, and you go onto eBay and try to sell it for $14.99 plus shipping because the competition is so stiff and you're making $1, on eBay, there's also going to be somebody selling a brand new Tommy Bahama shirt for $14.99 plus shipping that they got for $8 directly from Tommy Bahama on closeout. That all of those goods are starting to go into the secondary market. I've not seen that before. If you guys are not paying attention, a lot of your brand new items on eBay are the same price or lower than the pre-owned items because companies produce 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 more units to get the price down for production, and then they basically sell the rest of it to TJ Maxx and Ross. Ross is the king of discount retail. They're number one. Look at their stock price. Explosion. I will check that out. Um, Dodson is saying space to work and store inventory is more limiting than capital. I agree with that. That's why I think if they opened like a community use warehouse in every city, that would stimulate the economy like crazy. There's so many gig workers that make their own things, sell their own things, and that'd be easy to help. So Devin is saying it's crazy that Big Lots is closing stores. Yeah, it is crazy, but I don't know why. I feel like Big Lots, they don't know what they're doing because that's like um, dollar store, I understand. That stuff's really cheap. Big Lots should not be going out of business. That's like, okay, I bought a Walmart closeout and it was like lawnmowers, microwaves, and this is a mistake. It just came essentially for free. I bought this guy essentially gave me this pallet of hard goods for free, the truckload of hard goods for free. These goods would sell in 1 second at a Big Lots, like a $300 lawnmower, $80. That's going to sell immediately at Big Lots, right? It's just maybe it's difficult to do the logistics on larger goods, but smaller goods. If you go to Ross, I'd say the largest thing is like luggage. They don't have any big things. Also, Big Lots, where I don't know if the Big Lots here are out of business, but here they sold food and perishable stuff. I feel like that's hard. Um, it's not like TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls. They don't sell stuff that they don't sell a lot of food. Grant is asking me if I think Whatnot is better than eBay. Um, it depends. You get a lot more money on eBay for items. On Whatnot, um, it's mainly entertainment plus you pay an entertainment tax on whatnot for the host to show you the item. And it's essentially liquidation price plus entertainment, in my opinion. If you're very entertaining, you can get a really good price. If I just was looking at Rinzi, a lot of people have been sending me their numbers from Instagram. Rinzi's doing excellent, but Ryan, in my opinion, is very entertaining. He has high energy, especially if you're at home, and especially the time he is streaming in the morning. People are zombies in the morning. You turn on Rinzi, he's selling a nice North Face or Patagonia piece, great attitude. You're gonna buy stuff. I mean, that's a really, really good combination. And he's not selling garbage. He's selling North Face, Patagonia, Carhartt. That's what people should be doing, right? On his Instagram post, he posted like a 20 something, $20 buy cost selling for $43. Guys, a lot of resellers don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear spending $23 an item. Who here wants to spend $23 and sell for 40? That's too slim for most resellers. But the thing is, people don't want to buy bad items. They want Carhartt, Patagonia, and North Face, right? They're not looking for, they don't want used Reebok. I don't want used Reebok. Some people don't want used Reebok for free, right? But paying $40 or $39 or $35 or $30 for a North Face Patagonia Carhartt, that makes sense, right? So I would ask, where is he sourcing those goods? Do some research, figure it out. I went and looked at the Nike outlet. You can get Nike clothing and do what he's doing right now. And he's not the only one doing that. Check out Ohio Thrifters is like Rinzi on steroids. They're like they're like both. They do what Rinzi's doing plus what I'm doing. They mix in liquidation and they have the pieces that people are looking for, like the Patagonia, the North Face. It's like, so right now I'd be asking, why is this work? What are people doing that is working? And whatnot is more volume based, but whatnot is liquidation price plus entertainment. That's what it is. It's not retail. Retail is Amazon. Resale is eBay. Whatnot is liquidation plus how entertaining you are. If you were gonna like set yourself on fire, people will pay full retail. If you're willing to do that on screen, right? You're like, I'm gonna light myself on fire if this sells for full price. It's gonna sell for full price. It's very entertaining, right? Especially if like I don't know that people like watching that kind of stuff. That's very entertaining. If there was a dunk tank on whatnot, and it's like you pay 80, this Stanley Cup is $55 retail. You pay $55, you can dunk me. It would sell, right? So you entertainment plus liquidation is what whatnot is. eBay is just the true item. There's a concept in the car business called actual cash value. That's what eBay is. Actual cash value plus rarity. Actual cash value plus rarity. So you have an item that what is it really worth on the market right now, plus how rare it is. If it's rare, it's worth way more on eBay. If it's not rare on eBay, it's worth what it's worth. I don't know if you guys have noticed. If you guys ever tried to sell a common item on eBay, it's really, really, really hard. Think about this. What could this sell for on eBay? It's a pink water bottle, used. It still has value. You could use it every day. It's aluminum, twist off cap, built-in straw. What does it sell for? Zero. You could not sell this. Plus the cost of shipping, it's too hard. Stanley mug, you could sell for a premium because it has the logo on it. But a regular Stanley mug, you're selling it for below retail. A limited edition one, maybe 500% of retail. E is asking if North Face with stain sells 100% because people can't afford brand new North Face. Grant is selling, that's why they sell jewelry. Jewelry is a fantastic category everywhere because you can focus on the rarity and it's worth more. But Grant, you probably don't sell $7 free shipping jewelry. I hope you don't, because unless you are a giant Chinese conglomerate, that's a very difficult business model. You probably sell more rare jewelry, right? eBay is not the right place to sell common goods. It's the same price as a garage sale, except for people have to pay shipping. Can you imagine if you went to a garage sale and they're like, everything you see here, but $7 more because I have to ship it to you, and you have to wait 9 days for me to ship it? Can you imagine that garage sale sign? Everything here, right? Whatever you see, plus $9.50 for shipping priority, right? And it's gonna take me 9 days to ship it. But no one's gonna buy anything from you unless it's like a grail that somebody accidentally priced. That's like $100 item. They priced it $4. Then paying for $9 shipping is fine. But that's what eBay is for a common item. eBay is an auction. It's exactly like Whatnot, except for the time frame is longer. On Whatnot, it's a short time frame. And somebody posted on somebody posted on Reddit, guys, it's really annoying. I've been on here for an hour and no one has bought anything. And I was like, how dare you? How dare you post something like this? People are not obligated to buy from you. How dare you say that? They're not buying from you because you don't have a good deal. Unfortunately, or you're not entertaining. You have to be entertaining, or okay, so like when somebody sells their farts for $100 in a jar, right? That might be more valuable to somebody than your used thing that nobody wants, right? And it's just the value proposition. It's not price, it's value. What is something worth versus what it costs has to be disproportionate for someone to like step up and buy something. It's got to be like, oh, that's worth $20. I'll give you five. So Grant and Kelly is saying they sold $1,000 worth of jewelry in 2 hours. It's probably not common jewelry though. This is the part that I hope people understand. Common goods are so hard to sell right now. Melanie, the lady selling farts, was making her revenue was $40,000 a week. I don't know how long she was able to keep that up, but $40,000 a week, and there's no cost except for the jar and postage, right? She can produce that at home for free. Amazing. Okay, that's like I respect the hustle. I mean, it does say volumes about our society, but I mean that's pretty creative. Gabby says, I hate those people who don't run things. Um, they're waiting for requests or people who are, well, the thing is like the items sells. Okay, this is gonna be a hot take. You guys ready? I think that things on Whatnot sell for the proper amount. If you sell things too low, that's because either the item wasn't good or you weren't good, right? Like I see people on Whatnot selling the most average items, but they have a great personality and they have regular customers who come and hang out with them, right? And they're like, well, I just love buying from this lady, Pomona. Pomona is an example. She's in Texas. She has great stuff. She comes on, she has some regular customers. They'll pay a little bit more because it's her. I want to pay more from her, right? I want to pay more because I like her. I don't even care about the item. Now, other people, right? Especially people with bad personalities, you better give me a crazy deal or I do not want to buy from you because I already don't like you. And now, right? Like the lady that was complaining about people not buying, her attitude is really bad. You better be selling me $100 stuff for $5. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm going to buy from you on mute, right? Show me the item, how cheap it is, and don't talk, and then see if I want to buy it or not. That's like, it's contagious, right? Sales is the transfer of energy from one person to the other. And now that I've been selling stuff on Whatnot for a while, um, I think that momentum is maybe the most important thing. You want to sell things that are on a positive momentum, right? Selling Taylor Swift gear right now makes sense. You don't want to sell something, you don't want to sell Kanye West stuff right now. It's declining. Right? Or actually, maybe he's on the come up now. I'm not sure, but momentum is really, really important. And Whatnot is the same thing as eBay. It's just that the horizon is different, and the fees are a little bit lower, and that helps some people move lower inventory, in my opinion. Because I think that cheap inventory um, moves on eBay too, but the fees are higher. If you're doing eBay and you're promoting your listings, I feel like you're paying at least 20% in fees, right? And cost prohibitive. Have you guys done your math? How many people here are paying 20% total in fees after promoted listings or more? I think probably most of you. There's some of you don't know that you are, but you are, right? And on Whatnot, the 12.9% or 12%, 13%, up to 15% if you sell cheaper items. Those items, that helps. Extra 5% helps you offer a lower price so somebody will buy it. Plus, you can talk about it. On a North Face item, you could show all the flaws and do it. When I did the experiment with Les, she sold items the very, very first day. Right? She just went online. She said, guys, I have a really cute J. Crew sweater. And somebody was like, I would bid on that if you start at $2. So she sold it for $2, but she bought it for $1 at the bins. And that's the first step, right? And then you can go to the bins and just stream right from the bins. I think that's a fantastic model for 90% of the people listening to this call. Why not stream from the thrift store and make that guaranteed money? There's no returns on Whatnot. Go on there, go to the thrift store, make a pile, go to the corner, turn on your app. You have a smartphone if you're listening to this right now on YouTube, turn it on, see if anybody will buy anything. Right? And you can be transparent. This is $13 at Goodwill. I need $17 because I need to get it, pay Whatnot a couple of bucks, go home and ship it to you to get my fault to get it going. Right? Then you go to the cashier, you ask for a nice guy discount or a young lady discount. They give you a couple bucks off, make a $5 profit, and then keep doing that until you build up your bankroll. It's really dangerous, really, for resellers to buy goods and go home and then it doesn't sell. That's the number one danger. The number one danger is the buying items that don't sell. It's not that's really the biggest fear. That's why on Whatnot, the turnover is so much quicker, but you're not going to get that price that you are on eBay. Kelly is saying they're doing that from Disney, from Trader Joe's. Oh my God. Or Bucky's. I still haven't been to a Bucky's, and I'm disappointed because I've been to Texas a few times. Um, but I need to make a trip. I want Whataburger and Bucky's. Is that pretty easy anywhere in Texas? Um, you saw a lady doing that in Burlington a couple of weeks ago. She was laying clothes on the floor and selling them. That's creative and I like it. And there's no risk. As long as you are not being a dick at the store, I feel like they're not going to kick you out. Like if you're like in there with your lighting set up and a tripod, they're going to kick you out. But if you're just like, you schedule your show ahead, you're like, okay, today at noon for half an hour, I'm going to be at Burlington. Put it on the app, schedule it ahead, and then go to Burlington at 10 o'clock when they open, find 20 items that you want to do it, turn it on, and then just show it. And then it's good. I am not doing any official shop meetups, but I am going to start doing wholesale in person. So if you guys want to come to my shop, you can visit me anytime. I'm in West Oakland. Just let me know. Send me an email. Happy to show you guys around. I'll do some more official tours later. I enjoyed doing the tour in person, and I now realize that the value was not what I thought the value was. In the beginning, when people came, so let's just say like Devin came to visit me, right? And I would ask Devin, like, what's going on in your business? Like, where do you live? What kind of things are you selling? Where's your store at? And they're telling me their schedule or whatever. I find that is the most useful part. But I think that people coming, that's not the most useful part. They want to actually do it in person. So like going to somebody's house, taking photographs, listing, putting items away, that's more useful than visiting me. You need to just do it. I'm just going to ask you what your schedule looks like because I don't know what your setup looks like. You can make a better use would be to email me a video of you doing something and I'll send you a review. Oh, those are emails are my favorite. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Did you guys watch the debate? Any comments, questions for me while I'm here? That's all I was gonna say is that I don't think that any of it um, mentioned helping the economy at all. It just seems like things are gonna stay the same. Things are gonna stay the same or become more expensive was what I took from the presidential election, and maybe we'll make more goods in the US if people take those jobs. Mark Cuban said Harris's policy would tank the stock market and business. Does I think that helps us, right? If actually no, I don't know if it would help us because people would have no money. I was just thinking like if the stock market tanks and people are broke, do they just start buying used goods more? Because right now I'm just trying to think what makes people buy on eBay more. Grant says things will probably stay the same or get worse. Go ahead, Devin.
So what she was saying is that she wanted to tax unrealized gains on stocks and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So all the stuff you got sitting in,
Yeah.
within Schwab or wherever you do your, trading at,
Mm-hmm.
they want to tax what you have not realized yet, and that's where Cuban and every economist is saying you'd absolutely destroy the stock market, the global economy.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just like the when your house goes up in appraisal and they increase your property tax, that's the same kind of thing where like it's an unrealized gain, right? And they're taxing you. And that's ridiculous. It's not like they give you their money back if it goes down, right? So
No,
that's just like a that wouldn't work. So I what would work is Larry in the group said that he hires somebody every year to go through the tax assessment and rebuttal the state's increase in your property tax. I think that's a good idea because they're trying to, especially in California, they're trying to tax you more for not doing anything extra. You hire somebody for a couple $100 and they save you a couple $1,000, that is worth it. But yeah, if that's true, that would not be good. Taxing unrealized gains that would not work.
yeah, because in Texas here, I mean, every single year it goes up, and I mean, there's advertising all over the radio, TV talking about disputing your increase. You know, they go in there and they quasi appraise, the two or three of the most expensive homes in the neighborhood, and they just apply a blanket statement or try to apply a blanket increase to everybody in that zip code or that zone anyway.
I feel like people who are wealthy, they know all the tricks to get out of taxes. So I just want to know how regular people can make more money. That's really my take. Like, how do regular people make more money instead of middle class people paying for these tax cuts or whatever? Like middle class people pay for everything with the amount of taxes they pay. That's why it's like it's so weird to me that okay, get how weird this is. If I make my company run without me, I get taxed 18% less. That's crazy. That's the country that we live in. If you build a company big enough that you don't work there anymore, you get taxed less. That'll like the people who are at the beach not working, that's in their plan because if they were working, they would get taxed more. Like, oh, hopefully this is like a wake up call for people sitting at home right now, realizing that the country that we live in currently, it pays you more money if you don't work, but you have to build something that works for you. If you never get there, then you have to always work and you get taxed more. This is the craziest thing ever. Imagine if they taught that to high school kids. Like if you start a plumbing business, right? And you get to the point where you have four people helping you and you have an administrative person and a manager, and you now only work there a few hours a week, you get taxed only on the few hours a week. The rest of it, you don't get that extra 18% tax. You get taxed less. It's like the unrealized gain, the stock market, you get paid less on passive income than you do on active income. So this is the country we live in. Let's try to get on the other side. I'm not there yet. I'm not there where my company runs without me. I get double taxed on my income. But I don't see how complaining about that would matter. I don't want to pay half of my money to California, but that or to half of my money goes to the government, and I'm not really complaining about that. I'm just trying to think of how can I make the number bigger because it's not going to go away. So I kind of want everyone listening right now. I don't. the government could create programs. I don't understand the opportunity thing that um, Harris presented. I don't know how that works. It wasn't not obvious to me how that creates more money for a regular person. And then Trump didn't address it at all. So I really have no idea how that affects normal people. It feels like I kind of heard you're on your own. Let's see. Um, Justin Emerson literally said nothing of substance. Yeah, it was professional question dodging. Neither of them answered a single question straight up. Devin?
I've never heard you explain how you made it from Utah to New York to California. And everybody talks about how expensive the taxes are there. Um, is the weather the biggest reason why you're there? I mean, I don't know if your wife took a job there, or I don't know how that transition. If you made it, I'm guessing you've talked about if you might move here at some point in the future.
Yeah.
You know,
So
but
I grew up in Utah. I was born and raised in Utah, and I didn't like Utah because I still don't really like the culture in Utah. It's not really diverse. Most of the people are the same. So I was like, I want to move somewhere where it's more interesting. So then I decided to move to New York City. So after college, I moved to New York City with my friend who went to Columbia. He borrowed $271,000 in student loans to go to school. So we went there. I lived in New York City. I loved it. It was fun. I moved there without a job. I just moved there and figured it out. When I first moved there, I sold sneakers on eBay, and I lived in Harlem. So I lived in Morningside Heights, this is right next to Harlem. And at the time, the first House of Hoops sneaker shop opened on 125th Street. Now, I didn't know anything about sneakers. This is one of those situations where it's like a lot of people here say they don't know anything about industry. Nobody knows anything in the beginning. So I went there. I sold sneakers for about 1 year with my friend. Sneakers is expensive. I didn't have the bankroll to do it like he did. So buying for 100 and selling for 180 or 200 was too rich for my blood. So I stopped selling on eBay. I got a regular job. I did a whole bunch of things in New York for 3 years. I met a girl. I moved from New York City to California for the girl. Then I stayed for the weather. When I moved here, I've been here now for a long time, 15 years almost. When I moved from New York to California, um, in with her, we realized right away it wasn't going to work out. Not that there was anything negative. It's just that living together is very different than dating somebody. So I'd never lived with somebody before. She had never lived with somebody before. We realized right away this is not going to work. So I had not owned a car for 4 years living in Manhattan. So I applied at Lexus as their eBay person because I knew stuff about eBay and they were looking for an eBay person. So I moved in with her. We decided it wasn't going to work out. So I let her keep the apartment and I moved out with my other friend and I worked at Lexus. So I lived there for a week. We realized it wasn't going to work. We were better off as friends. I got a job at Lexus and then I bought a car the first day that I worked there. And then I was in Lexus the first year. I made $40,000 as marketing. And I said, yo, this is not going to work. I want to try sales because the people downstairs are making a lot. There was somebody on the sales floor making 700 a year. So I was like, I'm making 40, that person's making 700. Let me try that. And the owner said, I think you'll make it, but I'll give you 90 days. If for You can try for 90 days. If it doesn't work, you can go back to your job. So then first year in sales, I made 110. Next year I made 140. And then he told me, you should not work for me. You should work for yourself. It's going to be 10 years of hell and then you'll be okay. This was 2014. Now it's been 10 years. In 2014, I was making 140 grand a year in my 20s, right? And my boss told me to quit. He said, most of the people here could not make it as an entrepreneur. You can. Just try it. And it was horrible. I'm not a good entrepreneur. I'm a much better worker. I've said this on my videos forever. If you give me a plan on what to do, I'm much better at it than figuring out the plan. This is all foreign to me. Figuring out employees, figuring out um, business supplier relations. Everything now is like it's not what I'm normally used to. Normally, I go to a job and they're like, "This is how you make money here," and then you do it. When I was in the eBay department, we were trying to sell one car a week, right? Then I went to sales. The goal is to get 2 appointments a day. And for me, that's pretty straightforward. How do I get 2 people here every day to buy a car? Of the 2 people who come, one person will buy. Make 5 appointments, 2 people will show up. Make 100 phone calls, you get 5 appointments. That's very straightforward to me. That's why when I look at eBay, I always ask people like, what does your schedule look like? Because you're not going to know how to do it. You have to just schedule time and then try to do it. But now I'm here and I love California. I do really, really love New York so much, but it's my family's not there, and or my wife's family's not there, and grandma's here, so I'm staying here because nothing like being close to grandma. New York City though is the best. I absolutely love New York City. Walking around, the culture, the pace, totally me. I love it. If
Yeah,
I
my
if I
my parents are 1 block away, and my mother's there anytime I need her, so that's great. And
yeah,
she's not she doesn't hover everything. So in other words, she's only there when we need her. But on the other side of that, my grandkid, not my grandkids, good lord, my kids' other grandparents on the opposite side of the world. It takes 30 hours to get there, so it's
right.
complete one from one spectrum to the other.
Yeah, just being close to grandma is the best. I'll never move. That's why if I was gonna move to Texas, I'd have to take grandma with me. Um,
Nothing wrong with that.
I'd have to move to Houston because I feel like that is the best place for me in Texas. But I don't know. Like DFW seems pretty cool. Austin is too trendy for me. I don't like that. It's like so freaking trendy. Everybody, uh, just it's too much for me. It's like it's like San Jose is just down the street, and it's tech. It's like tech in Texas. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a little mini California in Texas, and I wouldn't be moving to. I already live in California. Wouldn't move to California again.
yeah. I'm driving past the Apparel Mart, the World Trade Center right now, and all that stuff is here in my backyard. But I think Houston, with it being a port city, you're going to have. I think there is an advantage down there.
Yeah.
But with that comes the humidity, which is unlike anything. I mean, you have to like go to New Orleans and get the same amount of humidity. I mean, it's just it's downright miserable. Of course, we have the heat. I mean, it's 105 here in the summertime with no rain, but we don't have the humidity, so we're not as dry. We don't have the heat as Arizona, and I'm talking about the DFW area. We don't have the heat. We don't have as much heat as like Phoenix would, but we don't have the humidity that you're going to get in Houston. So, but come every June, July, and August, you're asking like, why do we live here?
Well, I guess that right here it's between 60 and 80 degrees all year, and we have the Mediterranean climate where I'm at. It's literally like you don't need a jacket here, and you don't need a. It's like light jacket weather all year here. Well, for here, 70 degrees is a light jacket. In Texas, that's already that's perfect. But like it's the weather here is definitely outstanding, but Southern California is even better. Like San Diego, weather is even better than here. So California has its advantage. There's a reason why so many people live here. So um, Isaiah's asking, is there a particular reason why somebody should aim to reduce their tax burden? Yes, it's because eventually people want to go to the beach, right? Don't people here like eventually you want time. Everybody here wants time, right? So if you can build your business up to the point where you own it but you don't work there, right? It's really hard with reselling, right? Would need to be a more like corporate structure to get there because the only version of eBay that's sort of passive in my opinion is like a 30 to 50 item store and one person does the whole thing for you. So you have a relationship with the supplier like I know this guy that works for Nickelodeon. He has a 100% passive eBay business. His he has a one supplier that delivers a pallet, a team of three. They they take apart the pallet, list the pallet, one pallet per week, and the business operates without him. He doesn't have that higher tax burden. So he can create jobs, he can get an income without working there, he gets taxed at a lower rate. The lower tax rate allows you like a sort of like the incentive for growing and also helps you eat a little break so that you can actually build a business. This business is hard. Most businesses operate under 10% profit. This is the part that's crazy. Most businesses operate under 10% profit, but if you're an eBay seller at home, you can make 50% profit. This is the part of Rinzi's model that's so interesting. They're buying for 20, selling for 43 at home in their basement, right? If you take that business out of their home into a third party place like a warehouse, and then you hire workers instead of him streaming, the profit margin is under 10% because it's expensive to do that, right? Everyone listening right now, if you are doing this at home but without a worker, your profit margins are hopefully 40, 50%. Probably hopefully you do 10,000 in sales, you keep 5,000 because there's not all this overhead for running a regular business. The incentive hopefully is that you put all this work in so one day there's a payoff. I would like to sell my company. I don't want it to stop when I stop. So I want to create it to the point where somebody else can enter and get their money out. Right. And that's why I'm okay. I'm okay working. Like the ultimate thing that I'm looking for is what 37 Signals did. They sold 10% of their business to Jeff Bezos, and they just gonna work there the rest of their life. I would like to do that. Sell 10% of my business to somebody and then just let them quadruple their money over the lifetime of me running the business. And that's what I want. But thank you, everybody. I no one is coming to save you. And I hope that I do recommend you watch the debate yesterday because I think it was enlightening how little they're doing for regular people. So